Hi YouTube, I'm going to show you how to breed mealworms today. Yeah, so, and I have an update. So, the first thing that you're going to need to breed mealworms is a tub, like this. Or a tub like this. It doesn't matter the size at all. So then, second thing you're going to need is your mealworms, of course. And the third thing that's necessary, just like the tub to hold your mealworms, is bedding that they can eat. I like to use wheat brand. I really suggest it. It's a great thing. It's small. It's like they can eat it more easily than Quakers oats. You can use Quakers oats also. It doesn't affect the quality of your mealworms. Both of these are great quality mealworms. Cereals I've heard of. I don't suggest it. They have sugars in there, and it's a really crappy quality that you'll get in your mealworms. And I would definitely not suggest it. And it's like $2 for this whole box. That's like compressed inside of this stuff. Like this box and all the matching all this bottom is filled up just by that box and this box. So yeah, it makes a lot. So basically, you're going to need that, and then you're going to need a source of moisture. I use carrots a lot. This is a dried up, shriveled up one that I got out of a baby tub. I bred babies, and they're all in here. They're really small right now, but yeah, I've seen them. So yeah, then a source of moisture is like a carrot. It contains water, and the mealworms will come on it and like bite it and eat it or suck on it or whatever. And I also use, besides carrots, I use apples and pears myself. I've heard that you can use potatoes. I don't suggest it. Well, never used it, so I can't say I don't suggest it. I don't suggest lettuce. I heard that people use lettuce, but I don't suggest lettuce. So yeah. Anyway, apples, pears, and carrots is what I use. It creates a great quality with wheat bran. And they'll eat it too, so it's good. So after you keep doing that, here I'm going to move on to my breeding colony. After you keep feeding them the apples and pears and stuff, you do that like twice a week each time, like a source of moisture twice a week. And they'll eat this. And just take it out as you go. Like, I should really be taking this. But they will just go in the bedding or whatever. So, yeah. So they'll eat it, and as you keep feeding them up, after a couple weeks, they'll start slowing down, and then they'll turn into pupae. And this is a pupae right here. Pupae. They'll turn into these, and you'll find them in there, and I just pick them out and put them in a tub like this with my pupae. And then what I'll do is I'll grab my beetles that I find in here, because they'll hatch and turn into beetles in here. So I'll grab these guys and put them in their beetle tub. Now, the pupae are a dormant stage, so they don't need anything. I put a little bit of wheat bran in there, like if you can see that, there's a little bit of wheat bran, all those little specks. There's a little bit of wheat bran, but not a lot, because they don't really need it. They're all asleep. It's just if the beetles hatch and they want something to meow on a little bit, they have it. So yeah, anyway, they're in a dormant stage, so they don't need any source of moisture or anything. So, as soon as I check it like twice a day anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, whenever they turn into beetles, I just shove them in here, feed them a carrot or something, source of moisture along those lines. And they're in wheat bran too. And they'll lay their eggs in this. Wheat bran's a very vital part. Even Quakers oats they'll lay their eggs in, but I suggest wheat bran. It's a lot easier for them. And yeah. So as soon as they start to turn black, like this dude right here on my finger, it means he's mature. And once you see them humping each other, it's a definite sign that you're having eggs laying in your tank, like right there. Those two are humping each other, or were humping each other. They'll be laying eggs they're laying eggs in this right now. I wait for the majority of my beetles to turn black, and then wait 1 month for them to lay their eggs. And then after 1 month goes by, it's usually a good sign that you'll have babies in here. And then I just basically change out the I'll separate the beetles from the babies, and I'll put the babies that are in this bedding in a separate container. Like these guys don't have any beetles in there, and there's my beetles, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, so wheat bran's a lot easier than Quaker's oats, and I'll state it again, because wheat bran can go through a strainer, and Quaker's oats can't, and the babies go with the wheat bran through the strainer. So it's a lot easier, and like what I just did a second ago, is I put this over, poured out the beetles from this container into the strainer over the tub, and I just shook it, and the beetles can't go through this at all. I'll even show you if you don't believe me. Beetles can't go through it. Even the smallest beetles that I've tried it. They can't go through it at all. I can put this guy back. I don't need him. Yeah. So they just don't go through it, and the babies and the beetles get separated, and I'll just feed the babies thin carrot slices, and I just put the beetles in a separate tub. So yeah. So basically, once you're done separating, and Quaker's oats, once you have Quaker's oats, you gotta pick out these and these. I like to use paper towels or cardboard, or I don't like styrofoam, egg carton, stuff like that, or paper towel rolls. But you just take those out, put them in a separate container for Quaker's oats. And Quaker's oats, you have to pick out every single beetle out of the bedding and put it in a separate tub. And then in that separate tub, you leave it. And then you pour in the Quaker's oats. See, this took me about, these Quaker's oats here took me about 2 hours to do. To separate all of these beetles. They're up in there too. Away from that. So it takes a long time, and wheat bran just saves your time. That took me like less than 5 minutes, literally. So yeah. So I'm getting out just some wheat bran right now. I have a rubber band around it, so I'm going to try to get this rubber band out. And I'll show you what I do. I don't normally pour in wheat bran with the beetle in there, but I'm nice and let's pour it in first, or whatever. So yeah. So as you can see, it's pretty compressed in here. Just pour out a bunch of it. Don't need to be cheap with this stuff, especially for beetles, and I have a good amount of beetles in here. So yeah. See, that should pretty much do it. If I need any more, I'll just add some more. And I use dry milk as, I just need to add a little bit more. I use dry milk as a source of calcium, and the calcium just creates like something for the beetles maybe to lay eggs or do something. It just helps them out, and they'll get vitamins in it. Even for my feeders, I do it. Oh, crap. Okay. So what I'll do with this, I have a piece of duct tape over it, just like in case or something. So I'll just pull off the piece of duct tape. It usually comes off pretty easy. Here's a tab. There. I'm just doing this with one hand, so it's pretty hard, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah. Well, I'll just pour this in first. There's the beetles. He's fine. So basically, here's my wheat bran. I poured a little bit too much in there, but that's still okay. I'll just spread that around in there. Now it's all gone. You can't see it. It's all spread out. The beetles will eat that, and it will give them a good source of calcium. Then I just put the container really close because I don't want any beetles falling out, if you know what I mean. I just put them in there. I even take the paper towel roll really close, put them in there, and then once I'm done with that, I take out all my beetles. That's a good amount of beetles right there. I'll take them out, just pour them all back in there. Now they have the new place to lay more eggs and the wheat bran, and yeah. So anyway, that's just how I basically do my beetles and how I raise my babies. And then for my babies, I just have a 6-quart Sterilite tub. This is after 4 things of babies, 4 sessions. And there's the other 2, so it's like 2 sessions from each, which I'll have 4 or 2 more if these guys live longer. Hopefully 4. That's what I'm hoping for. And I should have about 4,000 in here. I'm hoping a lot more. I'm hoping about 8. That's what I'm rooting for. And I just labeled mine Route 1. And yeah. So anyway, my update is that I'm getting more mealworms. And I made an order from Mulberry Farms, so I'll make a video on when I get my order back from Mulberry Farms. And I ordered 50, well, I'll show you when I get it. But I made an order on Mulberry Farms, and I'm really excited about it. It should be coming like next week, Monday or something. And I'll just have to go pick it up at like a family member's UPS, or not UPS, post office, or P.O. box, or whatever that is. Because I didn't want to ship it to my house because it's really snowy where I live. So yeah. So that's just basically how you breed mealworms. So soy some moisture, like carrot or like carrot or apple or pear, wheat bran to tub. For mealworms, just keep feeding them up until they pupate, and then put the pupae in there. Wait until they hatch into beetles, and then when they hatch into beetles, have the standard setup, kind of like what I have, a hide or something for them to hide in. Could be in the bottom of an egg carton, could be a paper towel roll, could be a toilet paper roll, just something cardboard, because they don't eat it. Wheat bran, and then soy some moisture for these guys too. And after they turn black, you see, after the majority of them turn black, and you see them humping each other, and you don't really have a lot of more pupae that are being added in there. Wait a month and separate the beetles and the wheat bran and the babies, and put the babies in the wheat bran in another container, and pour new wheat bran in and put them in. And I suggest getting a strainer. I got this at Walmart. It was like $14 or something. But I needed it, and I wanted a good size one, so, and I got it, and it's pretty nice, if I do say so myself. So yeah, and that's pretty much it on how to breed mealworms and my update. Comment, subscribe, rate, whatever.